The world has stepped back from the brink. Today, April 8th, a 2-week ceasefire between the US and Iran is officially in effect, halting a conflict that threatened to paralyze global trade. Before this announcement, international markets were bracing for a total economic gridlock. Weeks of rising tensions had brought several of the world's most vital shipping lanes to a standstill. President Trump announced the deal today, noting it hinges on one primary condition: the immediate reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. This map shows the Strait of Hormuz, the central geographic choke point of global energy markets. This narrow passage handles a significant portion of the world's daily oil and liquefied natural gas exports. For the past several weeks, these energy flows were effectively choked off as the standoff intensified, leaving tankers stranded and global supplies dwindling. With the ceasefire now in effect, massive energy vessels are finally allowed to move again, resuming the delivery of fuel to global markets. This breakthrough prevents an immediate energy crisis, but it also reveals how vulnerable global trade remains when it depends on a single geographic choke point. Stopping a crisis is not the same as erasing its effects. Even with the strait open, economic damage from the last few weeks is already a reality. A new report released today by the World Bank details the global financial fallout caused by the weeks of blocked shipping. The report focuses on a sharp macroeconomic slowdown, specifically hitting emerging markets that rely on stable energy prices to fuel their growth. This chart tracks that impact, showing that South Asian economic growth has already plunged to exactly 6.3%. When growth slows in a major production hub like South Asia, it creates a ripple effect that disrupts supply chains across the entire globe. The strain of restricted energy corridors and strategic standoffs translates directly to the prices households pay every month. This is why, despite the strait reopening, prices at the gas pump will likely stay high for a while as the global economy absorbs the shock. The conflict's actual legacy is a long-term tax on the global working class as sustained inflation erodes purchasing power. While trade is moving again, the peace is far from complete. The ceasefire has very strict geographical limits. Israel has explicitly stated that this agreement does not include Lebanon. Kinetic military strikes against Hezbollah are reportedly continuing despite the pause between the US and Iran. This localized fighting carries a significant risk. It could act as the spark that reignites a broader regional war, nullifying the current pause. To prevent the ceasefire from collapsing entirely, the next phase relies on face-to-face diplomacy. Critical talks between the US and Iran are scheduled to move to Islamabad this Friday. The failure of these meetings would likely mean an immediate return to a closed strait. Negotiators have just 2 weeks to turn this temporary pause into a permanent, multi-front solution. Until the regional proxy wars are resolved, trade remains at the mercy of the next flare-up. Hit subscribe to stay ahead of the headlines as the Friday talks approach.